departure of J.J. Abrams from the Star Trek franchise, many have speculated about who would take over for Michael Giacchino in composing the score for the new film Star Trek Beyond, which is scheduled to hit theaters next July. Well, in a recent tweet, Giacchino has revealed that he is actually coming back to score the new film himself. He said the following: "So thrilled to be working with Justin Lin and the rest of the Enterprise crew on Star Trek Beyond. Let's boldly go." Jeanette, buy or sell Michael Giacchino returning for the new Star Trek?
Yeah, I return his, like we were talking about it before the show, and just familiarizing myself with all of his other scores. He's done incredible amounts of amazing scores for all these great films that he did almost all of J.J. Abrams' films, all of them, right? So I would imagine that, because Star Wars has somebody named John Williams, that there's not that much room for him. So maybe on J.J.'s next movie that's not Star Wars related, he'll return. But it seems like it's a perfect fit and natural for him to continue with the next Star Trek. So
yeah, I'm going to buy it mostly because you're bringing in a new directors, but to make it truly feel like the same franchise, I think the score has amazing amounts of power to make you feel at home. And having this, being consistent with who your composer is, I think that's really key. I didn't think he would be back to do Star Trek once JJ bolted. And I still think he's the heir apparent to the Star Wars films. I do think he will be the heir apparent because let's face it, John Williams is not going to be doing this thing for a lot longer. So I think he'll be the heir apparent at some point for Star Wars, but I think this is good for Star Trek. I think this is good for him. I think it'll make the audience feel more at home. So for me, it's a buy.
And you need that when you have new flavors coming into an established franchise. Look at Jurassic World. I mean, part of the fun of that movie was hearing his ability to take an old score and give us that flair, but also put some new stamps on it. So this guy is, a musician hasn't been as important to Hollywood since Kenny Loggins in the mid-'80s was required to do every soundtrack for every movie. I'm glad this guy's back on Star Trek because he knocked the first two out of the park, and he's just one of those guys that you call and you're like, hey, we need you to do this now. He's such a prolific dude. He works on so many movies, but he's really good at not being the star when he doesn't have to be, but when he needs to be and you need to accentuate a scene, he's one of the best in the business.